Navnath Bakthisagar, Chapter 32. The King Trivikram and with Machendra's Soul. The recitation of this chapter will vanish the misfortune and will get a long life. Machendra and Goraksha stayed in Girinar mountain with Lord Datta for some days and with his permission moved on to make the pilgrimage. When they reached Kashi, the king Trivikram had just died and the king's people were in grief. Goraksha said, "It seems the king was a very nice man. If we vivify him, his people will be happy again." Machendra said, "The king is in heaven now and it is not possible that he will return." They were sitting in a temple on the outskirts of the city when discussing the king's funeral procession passed by. When Goraksha again took out the topic, Machendra said, "I will play a trick. I will leave my body and enter the king's body. You take care of my body till then." Goraksha was very happy. Machendra entered the king's body and the corpse started moving. The people were shocked. They cancelled the funeral and took the king with lot of respect to his palace. But by then, Goraksha took help of the priest's wife and secretly kept Machendra's body in the basement at the backside of the temple. He told the priest's wife, "This body belongs to great sage Machendra. It will last for 12 years, but you should not tell this to anyone. Promise me." She agreed to it, but she had come to know that Machendra had entered the king's body. The basement was locked and Goraksha stayed in the temple. The people were thinking that the king had revived to life, but king's life secrets were known to Machendra, so nobody felt suspicious. Machendra, who was in the king's body, worshipping Lord Shiva exactly the way the king did. So the queen Revati didn't find it suspicious. One day, Machendra went to the temple and took assurance from Goraksha if his body was safely kept. 3 months later, Goraksha went to a pilgrimage. Later, Revati got pregnant and delivered a baby boy. When the time was due, they named him Dharmanath. One day, the queen came to the temple along with his son. After worshipping the idol, she prayed to Lord Shiva, "Lord Mahadeva, now my last wish is to die a Suvasini." The prince's wife was present there at that time. She knew the secret and so she laughed. The queen asked the reason for her to laugh. At the same time, the king came and took away the son from the queen. The priest's wife told her actual story secretly, and the queen went in a shock and fainted. There were still 7 years left for Machendra to leave the king's body. But what after that? She will become a widow. The queen decided to destroy Machendra's body. She made the priest's wife open the basement door and asked the servant to cut Machendra's body into pieces and throw them in the jungle. The queen got it done from the servant secretly in her own presence. She threatened the priest's wife and also made her swear. Now the queen was sure Machendra will not be able to leave the king's body. Goddess Parvati was watching all this. She told Lord Shankara the entire scene. Lord Shankara asked Goddess Parvati to send the lady guards to collect and keep the pieces of Machendra's body. The lady guards went along with Goddesses Chamunda to collect the pieces and gave it to Veerabhadra on Goddess Parvati's order. Machendra had earlier defeated these Matrukas and Veerabhadra too. That time, Veerabhadra thought the great sage Gorakshanath might come to Kailasa for looking for Machendra. He kept the pieces of the body in custody of lakhs of Lord Shiva's guards. He decided even if Goraksha comes, he should not get these pieces. In Kashi, Machendra continued to stay in the king's body, looked after the affairs of the kingdom for 7 years. Goraksha was on a pilgrimage. Whenever Machendra came to the temple, he would just roam around the entire temple. On seeing the doors closed of the basement, he would feel relaxed With that thought, the body is still safe inside. Here we come to end of chapter 32 of Navnath Bakthisagar. Om Sai Ram.